Have you ever met someone who quietly changed the rhythm of your days without even realizing it? My name is Oma, and this is a story about courage, integrity, and love, the kind that grows not from impulse, but from understanding. When I first joined the company, everything felt overwhelming. I was a young man full of ambition, eager to prove myself in an unfamiliar environment. I wanted to make a difference, to build something meaningful with my own effort. Yet, amid the busyness of deadlines and meetings, I sometimes questioned whether my hard work would ever be noticed. Then there was Mary, my supervisor. She had this calm presence that made everyone around her feel grounded. She was serious when it came to work, but never harsh. She corrected my mistakes with patience, encouraged me when I felt unsure, and guided our team with quiet strength. At first, she was simply my mentor, someone I deeply respected. But over time, I realized her words lingered in my thoughts long after the day ended. Her way of seeing potential where others saw imperfection inspired me to keep improving. She taught me that leadership isn't about authority, it's about empathy and the courage to lift others higher. Each morning when I walked into the office and saw her smile, I felt a renewed sense of purpose. It wasn't infatuation, it was motivation, the kind that makes you want to become the best version of yourself. I started working longer hours, not because I had to, but because I genuinely wanted to deliver work that would make her proud. But life, as always, isn't a straight path. Success in one area often brings unexpected challenges in another. In our workplace, admiration and perception can blur easily. I began to notice subtle glances, small whispers when Mary and I discussed projects. It made me uncomfortable, not because we had done anything wrong, but because in a professional environment, even the purest respect can be misunderstood.
すみません。
数字のミスが多すぎるよ。
すみません。
毎回同じことで間違ってるよね。いつになったらちゃんとできるの？
すみません。
明日までに直せる？
明日までですか？
できないの？
やります。頑張ります。
Still, I continued to learn from her, to listen, to grow.
はい。大丈夫です。失礼します。
中野さん、はい、記事お願いします。
はい。こちらになります。
何？また間違えた。いや、あげられるね。本当に大丈夫ですか？大丈夫だよ。おはよう。おはようございます。
おはようございます。
おはようございます。
昨日数字見たらそうだったよ。
ありがとうございます。
あのさ、あれ住んでる結構四国。
あ、今じゃめちゃ
進捗はどれぐらい？
8割ぐらい。
何してる？いいんじゃない？このまま進めてよ。あれさ、来月九州の方もやっといて。
九州わかりました。
お前行けるでしょ？
はい。
やっぱやった方がいいよ、お前が。こういうのは。
かしこまりました。
顔聞くし。でもっとさ、エリア増やしてほしいんだよ。
これ以上ですか？
俺いけると思うよ。
わかりました。
受けいいからさ。
はい。
で四国の方ももうちょっと増やしてほしいんだよ。
四国もこれ以上に。なるほど。
俺もやっとくからやっといて。
はい、やってみます。
できないことないでしょ。
One evening, I stayed behind to complete a report due the next morning. The office was silent, the hum of the city fading into the background. I didn't notice the time passing until the soft sound of footsteps echoed from the hallway. Mary had returned to pick up something she had forgotten. When she saw me still working, she smiled a gentle, appreciative smile that said more than words ever could. She thanked me for my dedication, and for a brief moment, the air felt lighter, almost peaceful.
財布忘れちゃってさ。
そうなんですね。財布。
資料できたの？
はい。一応。
見せて。うん。よくなってるじゃん。
本当ですか？
うん、なってるよ。
ありがとうございます。
もう一個なったっけ？頼んでるやつ。こっちも治ってる。オッケー。じゃあ次からこの調子で頑張ってね。
はい。
We talked for a while, not about work this time, but about goals, dreams, and how life often surprises us in ways we don't expect. That conversation changed something inside me. It wasn't a confession, nor a promise, just two people sharing thoughts in the quiet of an empty office. Yet it planted a seed of connection, built on respect, trust, and the shared pursuit of purpose. From that moment on, the way I looked at life, at work, at myself, began to change. I started seeing challenges not as barriers, but as opportunities to prove resilience. I started valuing teamwork more than recognition, and growth more than perfection. And though I didn't know it yet, that evening marked the beginning of a journey that would test everything I believed about love, ambition, and courage. Work became more than a routine. It became a rhythm I enjoyed. There was something meaningful about the small victories, the shared smiles after completing a tough project, and the satisfaction of doing things right. Mary continued to guide me with patience, and though her feedback could be firm, it was always fair. I learned to listen better, to take responsibility, and to adapt quickly. And with every passing week, the bond between us became more genuine. We started understanding each other's ways of thinking. She could anticipate my questions, and I could often guess what she would suggest next. It felt like teamwork at its best, effortless and natural. There was a quiet joy in those moments. It wasn't about personal attraction, but about shared purpose. Mary and I respected each other for the same reasons: dedication, sincerity, and an unwavering belief that work should have meaning. She believed in giving her best, not because someone expected it, but because it was the right thing to do. That belief slowly shaped me too. We talked about goals, not company goals, but personal ones. She told me how she once doubted herself early in her career, how mistakes had taught her resilience, and how perseverance mattered more than talent. Listening to her, I realized that real strength often comes from quiet persistence, from those who keep going when no one is watching. Her story encouraged me to look beyond my fears of failure, to trust that growth takes time, and to never measure my worth by others' opinions. I began to see her not just as my leader, but as a person who had fought her own battles with grace. I admired that strength deeply, and somewhere in that admiration, a softer feeling began to form. I knew that admiration, if misunderstood, could lead to unwanted assumptions. In a professional space, people often judge what they don't understand. But I also knew that respect, when genuine, can never be wrong. As days passed, we continued to work side by side. Every project became a lesson in teamwork, communication, and trust. I started to appreciate how every challenge tested not just my skills, but my character. Change often comes quietly. You don't notice it until the balance shifts, until something small, almost invisible, begins to alter the way people look at you. For Mary and me, that change began when our teamwork started getting noticed. People congratulated us, at first, but slowly, whispers replaced compliments.
別にいつも通りじゃん。
It wasn't anything harsh, just subtle assumptions. I tried to ignore them, to stay focused on my work, but the atmosphere began to feel heavier. People love stories, especially ones that mix admiration with rumor. And in an office, rumors spread faster than truth. Mary sensed it too. I could see it in the way she became quieter during meetings, how she chose her words carefully when addressing me in front of others. Her professionalism never faltered, but I knew she was carrying more than her share of weight. Things subtly changed. People became more formal around us. Some stopped involving me in discussions they once did. It wasn't open hostility, but it was enough to make me realize how fragile trust can be in a professional space. At first, I felt angry, not at anyone in particular, but at the unfairness of it all. We had worked hard, done everything right, yet perception was now shaping reality. But as days passed, I realized anger wouldn't solve anything. What mattered was how we responded, with patience, dignity, and truth. Mary continued to lead with grace. I admired her even more for that. She never let frustration dictate her actions. Instead, she reminded me, and herself, that we can't control what others believe, only how we conduct ourselves. Still, the pressure grew. Deadlines tightened, expectations rose, and the joy we once felt in our teamwork slowly gave way to caution. What used to be natural now required careful steps. Every word, every glance felt watched. Today, after another long day, she looked tired, not physically, but emotionally. I could see it in her eyes. We talked quietly for a few minutes. She admitted that the constant scrutiny had begun to wear her down. She didn't blame anyone. She just felt the space that once inspired her now felt smaller, confined by others' judgments. I didn't know what to say at first, but then I told her something she had once told me: growth requires courage. Sometimes the hardest decision isn't to stay strong, but to choose peace, even if it means stepping away. She smiled, not out of happiness, but understanding. In that moment, I knew she had already made her decision. It was the beginning of a special friendship, which gradually turned into a sincere love, simple but profound. A few weeks later, she resigned. She didn't explain why she was leaving. She didn't need to. Everyone could sense it. When she left, the office felt quieter, as if a light had dimmed. But I also felt proud of her, proud that she chose integrity over comfort and peace over misunderstanding. Her departure made me reflect deeply. I realized that true leadership isn't about staying at the top. It's about knowing when to walk away with dignity. And though I missed her presence, her lessons stayed, like a quiet voice reminding me that resilience isn't just about enduring, but about growing through loss. Our love was gentle, genuine, but also challenging. When the rumors spread, the eyes of others made us cautious. And when the director knew about it, everything became even heavier. But I understood one thing. I did not want to see Mary hurt by any pressure. We chose to leave the limits, the looks, and start over in a new place. No longer boss and employee, just two people who believe in true love. Sometimes to come together, we have to accept trade-offs. But as long as the heart is steadfast enough, all barriers will eventually disappear. True connection isn't measured by how long people stay in your life, but by how much they help you grow while they're in it. If life ever asks you to choose between comfort and courage, choose courage. Because growth, integrity, and compassion will always outlast fear. And those are the foundations that make any love worth remembering.
お世話になりました。